What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome again with another episodes of the Creators Podcast. I know it's been a while, but we have a very, very special guest here from Anthony Perry. He's a master in ecom, and we're blessed to have him here in the show today. But man, it's an honor. And
Thank you for having me.
I want to kind of just give you the floor because you've been in the ecom, right? I feel like you're kind of like more low key, but your results were insane. So I want to give you the floor and kind of give like, okay, like Anthony, how long you been in ecom and where are you at? Like, how is this?
Yeah.
How do you get into this?
Yeah. So I've been doing ecom for 4 years now. So I started when I was 17. I was in high school. I'm 21 now. And yeah, I've been doing it for 4 years. The first year I was sort of just testing, trying to learn how to actually run ads and get sales. So I tested close to 100 products just in the beginning, just to try to find one that would actually take off and get me good sales. And then I managed to find one that started to do well. And it started growing and growing and it became massive. And I actually still own that company as well, that brand.
Nice.
And it's selling in almost every country in the world right now. And yeah, I keep building brands and scale them. I've exited once, one store, but I'm looking to exit possibly a couple more in the near future. Yeah.
You're 21 years old and you started at 17, right? What piqued your, I guess, interest that got you into this? Because there's so many things now, right? Like for people who's watching, there's trading, there's marketing, tons. So what made you like, let's talk about ecom for you specifically, that got you like, you know what, let me dial it in here.
Yeah. So since I was young, I always loved business. My dad is a business owner. He's always been a business owner. So I knew that I always wanted to start my own business and create something for myself. So, I tried different things in the beginning. Nothing really worked. And then, like I said, I just stuck with ecom, and that's what ultimately led me to being successful, the first thing. And then I just stuck with it, and I fell in love with it. I started learning more and more about it. I became better at it as time went on. And I just stuck with it because of how much I love it and enjoy it. Yeah.
I mean, the thing too, Anthony, bro, is you did test 100 products, right?
Yeah.
It's not like an overnight thing. So like,
no.
What was, I'm curious in your insight, what was the things that kept you going? Because when did it take for you to actually get tangible results? How long did it take?
So it took about 8 to 9 months before I started getting consistent sales. And what actually led me to starting an ecom was I had a friend that I knew, and I went for coffee with him one day, and we were just talking about business and stuff because he enjoyed business as well. And he told me, I actually just did a dropshipping store and it did $60,000 in a month. And I said, are you serious? You did $60,000 in a month? And I just couldn't believe it. Like, I thought that was insane. I was only like 17, 18 at the time. So to hear that, I was like, wow, that's insane. So I thought, you know what, if this guy can do it, then maybe I can do it. So I started a store, got no sales. And then I just kept trying and trying and trying because I was so determined to actually get a store that would start getting sales and make money.
Are you, were you working during this time, or were you doing organic? What was your marketing to actually start scaling these stores?
Yeah, so straight off the bat, I went straight with meta ads. So I never did organic. I have done organic in the past, and I always say to people that I mentor, don't do organic. It's just going to take too much time. You're not going to get the same results. So I always lean more towards doing meta ads. But I spent thousands of dollars on meta ads, and there was a big period of time where I was spending all this money on ads and I was not making any money because I just used that money to test different ads and just understand how meta works and learn the game. And I always say this, the best way to learn something is by actually testing and failing. That's the best way to learn anything that you want to do. And I knew that. I knew that from a young age. So I was okay to lose a couple $1,000s in the beginning and just work out how to actually run ads properly. And yeah, so I just kept
How do you have
trying.
that such like risk tolerance though, right? Because
You,
fairly, did you have like some point of reference or?
Well, yeah, I had some money saved up from birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that. And you know, I've been always told this quote: "Fortune favors the bold." You have to take risks if you're going to make it. It doesn't matter what you do, what business you decide to go down. You need to take risks in order to make money. That's as simple as that. You need to.
Okay, and the thing is, you mentioned you have 2 stores right now that you're actively running.
Yep.
Right. And this is just selfishly as well, because you mentioned you exited one of them, right? How was that process like? And how do you actually exit an e-com store? Because a lot of people do drop shipping. I'm pretty sure you can just exit a drop shipping store, right? So
Yeah. So it depends who you go with. I went with a broker, but usually the minimum age of a store before you can sell it is 6 months. So you have to have a store that's older than 6 months before you can sell it. And you know, you can sell stores for like as low as $100. There's no like minimum or maximum amount. You can also sell stores for $10 million. But I managed to sell it for 6 figures, which I was happy with at that time. And yeah, the company that I sold it with just took a commission of the sale. And yeah, you just hand over basically the Shopify details, the Instagram account, the Facebook account, the ads account, and that's it.
Was there like a specific multiples that ecom on average, or does it depends on industries?
Yeah, there is. It's usually about 3 to 5 times your annual profit.
Okay, I got you, right. And did you do any mentorship to get into these stuff, or like what was your journey like on exiting a business, now running? Like, what's the figures right now, if you want to disclose that as well, and like the current stores you're running?
I can't disclose the exact numbers, but you know, it's in the 7 figures.
Okay.
Right. I mean, the biggest days have been $70,000 days. Months have been, you know, mid 6 figures. But I'm not gonna. I can't say exactly the exact figures, but yeah, it's in that ballpark.
Yeah. So like, man, like, because the thing is, you're fairly young, right? You're 21 years old, and a lot of people, even at that age, can only dream of on having this success at such a young age, right? So how do you even manage that? Like, does that?
Look, sometimes it's overwhelming, especially because I'm young and I'm also an only child. But I'm lucky. I've got very supportive parents. Again, like I said, my dad's been a businessman his whole life, so he's been a good inspiration. He's helped me, you know, sort of like stay on track, stay grounded. Sorry, that was my dog.
You're good.
Just make sure that, you know, I'm entirely focused on what my goals are, and just helped me achieve most of them by just telling me like what he learned from being a business owner himself.
Oh, okay. So your dad also had like a business, so that was kind of like a background too. Okay,
my dad's got a company. Yeah.
Was that like an inspiration for you to get into business?
Big
or
time.
Okay.
Big time. That was a massive inspiration. And, you know, even from when I was a very young child, I always knew I wanted to start a business, and I didn't want to work for someone. I think it's the biggest scam, working for someone and making them wealthy whilst you're just working for them on a base salary. I just couldn't comprehend that. So I knew that I needed to start something. And that's why, another reason why I was so determined to do well in ecom. Because I knew that I was not going to go get a normal job like everyone else. I really wanted to build something myself.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the e-commerce fall, right? Like, you were able to like make it work out, and a lot of people might say, "Hey, like, is it saturated now?" What would you say on those people that makes that comments, right? Or what would you say?
Yeah, I get these comments all the time. Is dropshipping dead? Is it too saturated? All the time I get these comments. It is never dead. It's never saturated. It'll never go away. It's here to stay for a very, very long time. One of the largest companies in the world is Amazon, and they're e-commerce. They sell things online. So, and they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. That's for sure. So no, e-commerce is not going to die. If it does, it's going to be in over 100 years. You'll be dead by then. And it's not too saturated. A question I always get is it too saturated? There's almost 9 billion people in the world, right? And we're advertising on Instagram and Facebook. They have like 3 billion monthly active users. That is a huge amount of people and a massive market. There's a product for everyone. So nothing is ever too saturated, and no, it's not dead.
And if someone wants to start here, right, what's the common pitfalls you typically see people make when they're trying to get into ecom or just, drop shipping in general?
Yeah, so there's a lot of pitfalls. The number one thing that I see mostly is people will think that a winning product is just something that's cool. Like it's just something that's amazing that they've never seen before. When in reality, the products that actually do massive numbers are the ones that have been around for a long time, and they're nothing new. You're just changing the marketing angle of the product.
Can you give us like an example of like?
I'll give you an example. So actually one of my brands I'll tell you one of my brands. It's a digital camera. And it's done massive numbers. It's been featured in Business Insider. And when I was first selling it, I had people tell me, who's going to buy a camera? We've all got cameras on our mobile phones. And I just shook my head at it because they didn't realize that I was doing, $50,000, $60,000 days with that product. That product's being sold in every country in the world. People love nostalgia. People love emotion. It's a great product. And that's why I've taken it to the heights that it is at now. That's not a new product. Cameras have been around for hundreds of years.
Right.
And, we've got mobile phones now that have cameras, but it's obviously still working. So even products that you think wouldn't do well, do well.
Do you have like a checklist when it comes with testing products or?
Yeah. So 100%. Yeah. So I'll start with niches. So the first thing I like to do is look at the niches that I'm going to be selling in. So niches that I really like selling in are fitness, sometimes beauty. I'll get back to that later though. Pets, babies, even toys. They're sort of the main, and health and wellness. They're the main niches that I look for. They have the biggest market. I'll give you an example. The fitness niche is an amazing niche to enter. There is a ridiculously big market for people looking for fitness products. There's a massive market of people wanting to lose weight, gain more confidence. Maybe they can't afford to go to the gym, so they need an at-home workout. The list goes on. So the amount of marketing angles that you can target selling fitness products is unmatched. There's no other niche that comes close to it. Again, look at beauty. People want to look prettier. Girls want to have shiny hair. They want to look better. They want to feel more confident. So there's unlimited marketing angles with these niches. Now, as a beginner, I would highly advise not to do the beauty niche in the beginning. It is the most competitive niche that you can enter. You're going up against massive corporations, and it's a hard niche to enter, especially as a beginner.
That's interesting too, because like you could see there's a lot of like you could say like gurus that say, oh, go to a beauty niche, right? Because it's the easiest to sell, right? So I guess this is new for me hearing, because I've worked with a good amount too, like, oh, go to beauty niche, like women spend a lot of money. For you, what's your perspective on that, right? So like, why would you oppose a beginner to get into like beauty niche? Because I know you mentioned budget, right? Going against, how does that even work? Because like, let's say if I'm just a beginner, I heard someone say, hey, this guy told me to go to beauty niche and now you're telling me not to. So like,
look, the beauty niche is one of the niches that can be amazing or it can be horrible. There's no in between. you're not going to find a brand that's doing it's doing okay. It's either doing amazing or it's doing nothing. Like I said, the amount of competition and who you're up against in that niche is, you're going against celebrities like the Kardashians. You're going against massive celebrities who have their own brands. If you're not a celebrity and you don't have access to people promoting your beauty product, it's going to be hard. It's going to be much more difficult than if you're just selling a normal fitness product or a health and wellness product. Another reason why is I've noticed through testing, beauty ads usually tend to have a higher CPM, so a cost per mile, and they're more expensive to get. You usually get a higher CPA with beauty ads. So it's hard as a beginner who barely understands how to work ads to enter that setting in the beginning.
That makes so much sense, right? Because there's so many intricacies that goes into it. So which kind of transition me to another question is, if you were to unveil to us on your thought process or your system on how do you pick a product and structure the testing phase, right? Versus someone, I just saw this, I thought it was cool and hope for the best, right? So is there specific metrics that you look for on a product to test?
Yeah.
How much do you spend to say, you know what, this is not worth it, let me pivot now?
Yep. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I tell all my beginner students when they're looking for a product. We want something that has mass appeal. And I'll give you an example as well at the end, but we want something that has mass appeal, can be sold to all ages. So if you're 60, if you're 20, if you're 40, both genders, male and female as well. And we want something that we can sell in any country in the world. An example is the camera, my digital camera brand. If I'm showing you an ad of my camera in Germany, you're going to understand what the product is. If I'm selling a beauty product that has these technical, chemical words and scientific wording explaining what the product does, it's going to be a lot harder to sell that product in Germany. Whereas, like I said, you see a camera in Germany or Portugal, you know what the product does. You know the product. It doesn't need explaining. And that's why one of the biggest countries for my camera brand is Germany, is Italy, is Switzerland, is Spain, because they can see a camera and they don't need to be, I don't need to explain to them what it does, because they can see it's a visual product. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, 1,000,000%.
So that's a massive, that's the main criteria that I look for. And again, in those niches of the fitness, pets, babies, health and wellness, they're the main niches that I look for. We want to sell something for about $35 to $100 in that range. I would say a better range would be closer to $60. Because once we start selling something for around that $30 range, our profit margins aren't big enough to scale profitably. So I always say look for something in about $40 to $60 range to sell for. And we want something that can be paired with free gifts. People love free gifts. And it helps with converting a lot more people that come into your store. If you're selling just the product itself compared to the product with 2 free gifts, the person that's selling the free gifts will have a higher conversion rate and they will sell more. So an example for the camera, I don't just sell the camera by itself. I sell the camera with a free case and with a free transfer kit for the photos. It becomes a package. It becomes a kit. That person, I can then charge more for that kit than what I can for just the camera. And not only will I charge more and make more, but I will have a higher rate of people checking out on my store as well.
If you guys are listening to this or watching this, it just dropped straight sauce right now for free. So like, if you guys are taking notes, rewatch this right now. Ben, and in terms of like, I know you wrote a book about the e-commerce playbook, right? Can you tell us a little bit about it? And
I've got it here. So I wrote a book. It took me about a couple of months to write it. It's on Amazon. $10 million e-commerce playbook. And I wrote the book because when I first started out with e-commerce, I didn't know where to get my information from. I didn't know who to trust, and everything was messy. And I would follow people on YouTube and it was wrong. And it was frustrating. So I decided, let me write a book and put everything I know into this book on how you can actually start a real brand and take it to $10 million in sales. And that's exactly what this book is. It goes over ads, how to find my winning products, how to build high converting stores, what themes I use on Shopify, marketing psychology, power of emotion in selling. It's a great book. It's a great read. And if you're new, even if you're not new to e-commerce, I still highly recommend you get it and read it. It's available as an ebook and paperback. So yeah.
Let's go. And the thing here too, right, is I wanted to go tactical first because I think a lot of your viewers would find that much more helpful. Like going tactical, the nitty and gritty, right? So give them that high leverage advantage to start their journey, right? And I want to know, like, for you specifically, Anthony, right? You've been in the game for 4 years now, right? And I'm sure you've probably seen some cycles or shifts in the market. There's influencer marketing UGC and like TikTok Shop affiliate now. So I guess what's something that you're seeing now and where the market's going, right, in terms of e-commerce? Where do you feel like it's going?
A big one is AI. Using AI for UGC videos. And, my DMs get flooded with this same question. Is it good if I use AI for my UGC ads? Look, when you're selling to another human, you want a human to sell to that human. You don't want to sell with an AI voiceover or an AI figure. I have tested so many ads with AI UGC content, and they do not perform as well as an actual human being talking to the customer. They never do. As well as AI voiceovers. Yes, they're quicker. Yes, they're cheaper than getting someone else to actually create a UGC video for you. But I guarantee that you will convert much better with a real human UGC video than using AI. So that's something. I think AI still has a lot more time to develop to become a bit more realistic, but the majority of people can tell if it's an AI voiceover or if it's an AI person doing the ad. So, AI doesn't have emotion.
Yeah, that's true. There's some good ones now though, right? Like there's someone with the inflection, tonality.
Yeah.
Starting to get better. So
it's getting better. I just think at the moment it's better if you just stick to humans. It'll convert better than using AI. AI is great for scripts and other stuff, but in terms of actually ads, it just doesn't convert as well.
What's interesting too, I don't know if you've noticed it, maybe it's just me, but I've been using Claude and GPT, but I feel like I've been putting more effort on prompting it more compared to back then. It feels like it was so much more, it gave me better output like beginning of maybe earlier this year compared to now. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. Well, I guess it gets smarter the more you use it and the more everyone else uses it, right? It trains it, it becomes smarter. AI is great for scripts and copywriting as well. It's just, like I said, it's not on the level of selling to an actual human with the voiceovers and stuff. It just doesn't convert as well. Yes, it'll get you sales, but it's not going to get you as many sales as an actual human doing the ad.
That's fair. And I want to shift gears here a little bit, man. I mean, this is just 4 years, right? Where are you seeing this now? Like, are you going to stay in ecom? What's the long-term play now for you specifically?
It's an interesting question. I love ecom. I have a massive hunger and passion for ecom. So I'm hoping the next 5 years I'll still be in ecom. I more than likely will be. And I think, look, I just want to keep mentoring people, helping them start their own brand, build up their dreams. I love that. I love mentoring people. I love seeing someone who thought it was impossible, then create a store that's doing $100,000 a month. I love that. So I think just keep mentoring people, maybe venture out into building some softwares as well around e-commerce to help people in ecom. But just keep mentoring people and building brands myself, creating a mix of brands myself, and building up my personal brand as well.
I love that. So main thing is just helping people out get into this path, right? I guess like I mean, there's a good amount of people out there now, right? That's, you could say like ecom mentorship and all that stuff. But for you specifically, right? If someone is watching this right now, right, like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, what do you look for a mentor? What makes a good mentor? Because you mentioned too, right, that trust was the thing and the
Yeah.
reason why you wrote the book.
Yep. Yeah. Look, reviews, word of mouth, results, testimonials. Again, they can be faked. People do fake them. I don't. That's one thing. I just don't do it. I think it's a scam, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And talk to the person. Ask them questions before you get a mentor. And me, even if you want me to mentor you, ask me any question. If I
Mm-hmm.
can't answer it for you, and I don't have a good answer that you think's good enough, I don't have to mentor you. But if you're asking your mentor all these different questions and they don't have a good answer for you, then maybe they don't know what they're talking about.
That's fair. That's fair, right? And what was your experience like on starting off, right? Did you have a mentor specifically invested with, or?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I tested myself for about 4 or 5 months, and then I decided to get a mentor as well. And that sort of helped me get steer into the right direction. And then I used him for maybe 1 or 2 months. He just helped me with sort of how to build the store, what to look for in products, and how to run ads.
Mm.
And then after about 2 months, I stopped, and then I just kept going myself. And then I basically just learned from myself from then on.
How are you learning from yourself now? How do you do that self-auditing, right? Because eventually, right, I do agree to the certain extent, right? Okay, you have a
Yeah.
mentor. Do you still hire mentors now, or do you like, what's your thought process now with it? How do you like constantly grow and reinvent yourself?
Yeah. So I test ads all the time. I look for what's trending at the moment. I always keep an eye. Like I said, I'm managing brands at the moment and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always working on them. So I'm always in the loop with what I'm teaching. A big thing that you'll see online is people that are doing ecom will mentor you, but they don't actually have an ecom store themselves. So they'll do ecom for like a year or two, and
Yeah.
then 5 years later, they decide to be a mentor and they don't actually have an ecom store anymore. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
I try to keep myself involved as much as possible in ecom so that I'm not just a mentor, I'm actually a brand owner myself and I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass.
Mm.
So
What's
yeah.
what do you see? How do you feel about like the entire info space, or I guess like the educational space right now, right?
Mm.
I'm curious on your
I think
perspective of it.
I think it's booming. I think it's doing amazing. There's WAP, which is doing well. There's school with Alex. There's it's a massive, massive market, the info market. Yeah, I think it's a great market if you want to enter it. If you have a skill, master a skill, and teach people how to do that skill. I think it's huge.
Mm. Yeah, because you mentioned you have do you have like a community right now that people can
Yeah.
join, or?
Yeah, so I've got a free community as well.
Okay.
There's a link to it in my bio on Instagram, and it's free. And I'm always active in the community. I'm always giving out tips, mostly every day, and it's 100% free. And there's also other e-com store owners in the community who have multi-million-dollar stores. And yeah, you can access me whenever you want. Ask me any question you want, and it's free.
I'm curious, where does helping come from, right? Like it sounds like to me that you spend a good amount of time on helping other people out right now as well. So not a lot of people would share what you know, right? Just freely, publicly as
Yeah.
well. So I guess like where does that come from you, like helping people?
Yeah, well, I was this, you know what? I was a kid that struggled in the beginning. And I always said to myself, I wish there was someone like me now when I was a kid to help me and guide me and teach me how to do things the right way. So I think that's sort of what's pushed me so much into wanting to help others and teach people
Mhm.
because I never had that when I was starting off. And I knew how much I would have loved that when I was starting out.
Was there anything specific that made you, like growing up that got you into ecom? Do you feel like did you see yourself doing ecom or?
Never. Never. I never in a million years would I think I'd be doing e-commerce, have a book on e-commerce and doing a podcast right now on it. Never. Never.
Really? And then, yeah, like, cause the biggest thing is like, what were you like in high school? Like, did you play sports or what was that?
Yeah, I mean, I played tennis, basketball, football, but I wasn't big on sports. I hated school. I didn't do that well at
Yeah.
school. I actually did pretty much average, maybe sometimes below average in some subjects. I wasn't a great student. I didn't get amazing results.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was just always very business minded the whole way through school.
That's
Very
what I've,
business minded.
yeah, that's what I've noticed with people that do well on business. They tend to not do very well on traditionally, on
Yeah,
just educational or just school wise, or it
yeah.
feels like it's a bit more short fused when it comes to like trying to learn different topics, right? So I guess for you, is ecom the first thing that you tried, or have you tried anything else outside of ecom when you were trying to make money online?
Yeah, it was basically the first thing I did. There were other things that I did. I had ideas to do other ventures and ideas, but I never really stuck with them.
Mm.
Ecom was the first thing that I actually stuck with, and I actually saw results. So yeah, it was basically the first thing that I ever did that I actually seriously considered doing.
Do you think ecom is for everybody, or is there specific characteristics or personality that if you're this person, you should do ecom, but if you're this person, you
Yeah,
should probably like,
that's a really good question. That's a fantastic question. I think with everything I think with everything, there's a certain person that does a certain thing. You got to be patient. You got to persevere. You got to be disciplined.
yeah,
But I think the majority of people would be able to do e-commerce if they were just mentored and they understood how to do it. I think they would enjoy it as well a lot. I think it's something that anyone can be taught how to do.
that's fair. Because sometimes on work perspective wise, right? I guess like for me, like going from I do sales right now and do
Yep.
sales management, so it's like when someone asks me is sales for everyone, my answer is like no. Like you need to have a
Yeah.
specific like characteristic to like actually get to it. It's a good
Yeah.
opportunity vehicle, but it's not for everyone. Like
Yeah.
this the biggest thing, right? But it's always like you have to try, give it a shot, and then the skill set itself you'll acquire it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's your end all be all, right? So
That's it. You have to try it. Even if you fail, you just try it. Give it a shot. You might love it. You might hate it. At least you've tried it. You can try something else. You don't know until you try it.
yeah, no, 1,000,000%. And the thing is, you stuck on this for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people our age have a hard time in sticking
Oh, yeah.
to
Yeah.
thing, right? So, and
Yeah.
I honestly struggle with this too, starting off. Like when I was trying to do a bunch of stuff with it, I was doing like 5 different things when I was trying to get into entrepreneurship. So,
Mm.
for you, what was that? Was there a reference that you had, or was there like a mindset shift that happened for you that made you like, you know what, let me just stick this out for 4 years straight? Or
It was just, I don't know why, but I just loved it. I just something about it, the Shopify notifications on my phone, it makes you feel good. It's a bit of adrenaline. It's
Mhm.
exciting launching a new ad. It's like it's almost like gambling. Launching a new ad, launching a new product, seeing if the product gets sales, if the ad performs well. So there's a bit of adrenaline, and I think that becomes addictive as time goes on.
Uh,
And I think it's not a good thing, but like I said, I think it's similar to gambling. It really is in the beginning, especially because if you got no idea what works, you're just
yeah,
gambling a product, you're gambling your store, you're gambling the ads. So it's a bit exciting. Even when you become good at ecom and you know what you're doing, it's still exciting because you're never 100% sure if this is going to work or if it's not. You
Mhm.
just have a better idea and you've got a higher chance of it working. But it still boosts my adrenaline to this day. Like I'll still launch an ad and I'll still be like, oh, I'm excited. Like how many sales will I wake up with tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like it's exciting.
Was it an acquired like experience for you, or was it like a catalyst of event that happened? Because like I'm sure there was like those dark times when you're like, should I even keep moving forward? How did you?
Yeah.
What was something that
Yeah.
you latch onto to keep going? Because I think that's the most important part, is just having an anchor,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah. Like I said, it was literally the Shopify notifications. I sound crazy, but hearing that, like when I was young and I first got my few sales, I would like freak out. I would like go crazy. I'll be like, far out. This is insane. Like someone around the world just bought something for me and I was in my bedroom. Like it was crazy to me. And I just kept wanting more and more sales. I just was dying to hear that Shopify notification go off one more time. So that's sort of what, it sounds crazy, but that's sort of like the main, like it just, that sound just was so good to hear. Like it's just so rewarding to hear that.
I got you. And it's interesting, right? It's like those small things, right? And a lot of people makes it way too complicated.
You can't.
In a sense, right?
You can't make it complicated. You got to look at the small things, especially in life with everything. Look at the small things. Like I used to get excited when there was a visitor on my store. When I was first starting out, I would see that there was a live visitor and I would freak out. I thought that was amazing. That was great. Like look at the little things and their goals as well. Get your first add to cart, get your first checkout, get your first sale. Like these are all little steps, but every time you cross off one goal, you're closer to the next biggest goal.
I think that's like the biggest hack, right? It's just being able to be grateful and have that winning energy.
Yes. And don't give up.
Yeah. I was just reading this book right now from Steph Curry called Shot Ready.
Yep.
And he talks about you have a decision every single day to either feed off of the losing energy or the winning energy.
Yeah.
And the more you feed on the losing energy, the more evidence on why you keep losing. Right. So I think it's very similar in what you're kind of saying right now as well is, hey, even just having a visitor, it's a win.
Yes. It's a win.
Celebrate it.
Celebrate it. That's great. You got a visitor. Someone from America has loved your ads that much that they went onto your store to check it out. It's great. Celebrate it. It doesn't always have to be I've done $10 million in sales. It can be I did $1,000 in a month in sales, which right now for me is nothing. But when I was starting out, that was massive.
Yeah.
I don't want to, like, you know what I mean? That was massive.
Yeah. How do you integrate that now though, right? Like the gratefulness that you had to get you, because now it's like it's a different height. It's this new dragons that you need to slay, right? So how does it operate now from 6, 7,
hard.
8 figures?
It's hard. It's extremely hard because, you keep hitting a new milestone and you just want to keep going and going and going and get bigger numbers and better results. And, you've just got to keep reminding yourself of where you started from, right? You got to keep thinking of yourself of how proud would I be 4 years ago if I knew where I was today, right? Look back and think to yourself, when I first started what I'm doing now, would I be proud of myself? How insane would I feel? And just keep thinking of, how far you've come. How far you've come on your journey.
Because the thing too is there's different stages, right? You've crushed the 6-figure mark, you've done the 7-figure mark, and you did 8 figures in sales already right now as well, right? So I guess how do you get to 9 figures? Like
9 figures. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to stop till I want to be the biggest ecom creator in Australia. That's my goal. I want to be the guy. I want to be the number one at e-commerce in Australia. I don't care how hard it is, how long it takes me to get there. That's my goal. I'd love to be. So yeah, there's so many different goals, not even monetary goals, but personal brand goals that I want to do. But yeah, the next goal is 9 figures in sales, $100 million in sales on ecom.
Let's go. And I know one of the biggest ecom guys there in Australia is
David
Fogarty. David
Bogarty.
Fogarty.
Yeah.
Fogarty, right?
Yes.
So
He's huge. Yeah.
he's pretty huge, right? And is this scene there in Australia big too as well in ecom, or it's
Nah, nothing.
small?
It's
Pretty
tiny.
small.
You know him? Who else do you know from Australia?
Mm-hmm.
That's
No,
it. There's like two, three people.
maybe like Volk. That's it. UFC fight. I'm not really not much, man.
Yeah. The UFC fighter, exactly. It's
Yeah.
just there's like two, three people doing big ecom and stuff like that here in Australia.
Mhm.
That's it. It's not like America. America, you go down the street, there's someone else doing ecom, there's someone else doing online money. It's not like that here.
Yeah.
So it is
Yeah, it's
easier.
interesting. Do you ever plan to move out, or what's your vision?
Look, I've thought of moving out. I'd love to move to Japan or Greece.
Mm, okay.
I love Japan and I love Greece because I'm Greek, my background. But I think for right now, with my family, I've got a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend. I think it's just better staying in Sydney. And then, maybe later down the track when I'm married, I might, move to Japan.
Okay.
'Cause I really love Japan. I think it's a great country, great people, good food. I don't know.
Okay. I like it because that's I want to segue on this too. I mean, like, so you're in long-term relationship right now. I mean, a lot of guys. There's a lot of different. There's red pill
Yep.
advices. There's so many things out there, right? So, um, for you, some people like would say, hey, like go find a long-term partner, and some people say, hey,
Mhm.
just focus on yourself first and work on your career or business, right? So for you, how do you balance that? Because it is a commitment, right? So
It's a commitment, and it's got to be a commitment that you're willing to take. I was lucky; I found the girl of my dreams 4 years ago, exactly before I started in
wow.
e-commerce. So this girl has grown with me into what now has become this massive empire. She was
Mhm.
there from day dot. She was there when I wasn't even getting any sales on my stores.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky. And I think, in my opinion, it's great to have someone as a soulmate that you can connect with, because there's times where you need to turn off your brain and
Mhm.
you need to get out of your room, whatever your office, and spend some time outside with a girlfriend or with friends.
Mhm.
I think that is actually what has led me to doing so well. Having a girlfriend, being able to go out with her, having something to look forward to every week.
Mhm.
Telling myself, look, the rest of the day I'm going to lock in, do ecom,
Yeah.
and then I've got something to look forward to tonight. Go out to dinner, watch a movie, go somewhere.
Mhm.
So I think that's one of the main reasons as well. I do.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because in our, I guess, the online money space, right? There's this
Yeah.
picture of ecom guys, or you could even say like just online money space is very degen, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, I guess for you, right? Did you ever like oh, like I have this because like again, like you're very very young, right? So it's like, how are you able to, you have a lot of T levels at such a young age, right? How do you keep
Yeah.
yourself grounded in a sense?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a great question. I think, look, you got to be with someone that understands what you do and that respects what you do. And I think that's another main reason why I've had a girlfriend for 4 years, because my girlfriend understands what I do. She understands when I've got to work, when I can't call, when I can't go out because I got to do my work. But she also
Yeah,
understands that she also tries to get me out of the house a bit, go out, and
yeah,
take my mind off business, because it's not healthy for you to always have your mind on business.
right.
Um, so yeah, she's helped me a lot with grounding myself as well. There's been times where I may have posted something that I thought was cool to post, and she's like, "Oh, maybe like rethink what you're posting with this thing." And you know what? I looked back on it a week later, and she was spot on. I regretted posting it. So it's good to have someone as like a second, a third eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just helping you and keeping you grounded. And I think I've got that in my girlfriend, and I recommend that to anyone as well. I think if you find the right person, I think it can make your life much better.
What do you look for a girl? Like especially high driven individuals, right? I think everyone
Yeah.
has specific things, but because like especially now in our generation, it's I don't know, So
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. Look, when I was looking for my girl, I didn't want someone that was, I don't like going clubbing. I don't
Mhm.
like going to parties and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
never went to all these parties and stuff. The biggest waste of time hanging out with drunk, sweaty people. I think it's just
yeah,
stupid. So I made sure that my girlfriend wasn't that type of girl,
hmm,
and she wasn't, and she still isn't.
uh-huh,
And I think you need someone that has somewhat common interests with you. However, I also think it's great having someone that has completely different interests to you.
fair, fair.
I think it's great. My girlfriend isn't business minded at all. She's more artsy and creative. She's
Yeah,
interior designing and architecture, and I think it's great because she
yeah,
teaches me about what she does, and I teach her about what I do, and it's
right.
great. If we were both in business, I feel like there would be a bit more conflict, a bit more like who's doing better. Whereas she
Yeah,
does her thing, I do my thing, and we're both happy.
that's true. Because I think it was how Alex Hormozy talks about it about the two different type of dynamics that you could have.
Yeah,
It's either
yeah,
the quarterback and cheerleader, or
yeah,
the other one is you guys are both like playing the game, right? So
hmm,
it's like I've spoken with people that both mutually play the game, and there's people
yep,
do quarterback and support
yep,
the cheerleader dynamic, right? So it's good, like because I think right now the image of the online money space, especially our age, is like, oh, you gotta go Miami clubs and
yeah,
parties.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
so like
It's not where you want to be.
yeah,
It's not where you want to be. You don't want to be in Miami. You don't want to be going to these clubs, these parties. It's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's all a scam. I think it's stupid, in my opinion.
hmm,
I do. I think it's better to lock yourself in your bedroom and don't come out of that bedroom until you're actually successful and you start seeing results. Once
hmm,
you start seeing results, then you can start to go to these places and go out. But
yeah,
until then, you should not be going out to these places, spending your money getting drunk. I think it's just
yeah,
stupid.
yeah. Well, when you say it's like a number amount where you started feeling like, okay, I've made it. Like
Mm.
what's that figure?
Yeah, when I was doing just over 100K a month in sales from one of my stores, I thought that was like, I'm pretty good. Like, it's pretty
Yeah.
good now. It's only going to go up from here. That was a good feeling.
Mm.
Yeah.
100K. Does life change drastically then, or what do you feel like
Um,
was that
Look, in
shift?
honesty, yeah, it doesn't change that much. You think it does? I mean, look, I'm only 21. I still live with my parents. That's a choice that I made.
Hmm.
I'm Greek Orthodox. So the tradition is you usually live with your parents until you're married, and then you move out. And I love it. You know, I'm close to my parents, and I think it's important that people watching are close with their parents. If they're still alive. I think it's yeah, it's great. I think it's beautiful. But yeah, I don't have any plans to move out. I mean, I'd love to build up a property portfolio, maybe move into an apartment later down the track. But right now my life hasn't changed that much. I might buy a nice watch, I might buy a nice car,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna I don't go eat at 5-star restaurants every single night. Like
Yeah.
my
How do
life
you
hasn't
keep
changed that
yourself
much.
like grounded like that though? Because like I feel like a lot of people that gets ton of money overnight, or like at such a young age, you get
Yeah,
so distracted of like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, right?
yeah. You think you become invincible? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How
not
were
the
you
case.
able to keep yourself like, hey, like I know that's a distraction, and I have
Yeah,
something to be tunnel vision about, right?
yeah.
And yeah, so I'm curious how your mind operates, right? In a sense, because I've spoken with tons of people. I mean, like
Mm.
there are some people I've spoken with that makes tons of money, but they just blow it. And
Yeah, it's common. Yeah, it's very common. I think it comes down to who you are as a person. There's people that do it out of passion and love for what they
mhm,
do, and there's people that do it for the money. The people that do it for the money are the ones that are in Miami spending it on the clubs. The people that actually love and enjoy what they're doing are the ones that aren't doing that stuff, and they're actually genuinely involved in what they're doing, and they love it. You know, it's like you've worked so hard to get to where you are. Why would you then just spend it on stupid shit that's not going to improve your life or take you to the next level? It's a waste. So I believe in reinvesting all the money I make into different things and just keep growing and growing, especially at a young age. You know, I'm not 70 or 80 where I'm near the end of my life, right? If I was 70 or 80, okay, I understand. I'd go on holidays more. I would spend it more. But for someone that's so young, and whoever's watching, if you're young as well, I highly recommend that you just save your money and make smart purchases, wise decisions, and just don't spend it stupidly.
I think that's such a good thing to hear, because like, again, you know, it's being in the online space is like,
it's
toxic.
Always
like, oh, spend money. Go, you know,
look, you need to spend money to make money. Right. You do need to spend money to make money. It depends what you spend the money on, though. When you're spending money on drinks and stuff, that's not going to make you money. When you're spending money on getting a better camera, getting a higher quality theme for your store, stuff like that, you're going to make more money. So spend wisely.
And now though, right? Like, cause who do you learn to, you know, like, cause now you're in this stage where you're trying to scale to 9 figures, right? So is there a specific people or figures now that you're looking into or getting trained, or how does your learning curve now works?
Yeah. So a big thing about me is I don't look at other people for inspiration. I hate it.
Okay.
I don't. I don't like it. There might be a few people that I do, but it's sort of me versus me, right? It's me versus me. It's me wanting to get better than the previous me, right? I want to just keep improving on myself. I don't look at others. There's a famous quote I love: "Comparison is the thief of joy." So, I mean, think about the quote, right? You're comparing yourself, you're just stealing your joy because you keep comparing yourself to other people. It's great to have people that inspire you, but never compare yourself to anyone, because everyone's at different stages in their life, different backgrounds, different everything. Yeah, it's
how are you learning now, right? So it's just like looking at your past self from yesterday and then working on.
Yeah, and you know, I make fails all the time, right? It's learning from the failures. So I'll see if something didn't work. I launch an ad one day and the ad doesn't perform as good as I thought. I look at the ad and I think, why didn't the ad perform as well as I thought it would? And I learn through that. I just keep learning through failing.
I got you, right? And is there a right way to learn to fail? Or because some people like keep failing, but they're not learning, right? So how do you actually learn from their failures?
Fixing what's failing. So if something's not working, then it's not for you, or you're not doing the right thing. So don't do that anymore. Do something else, or fix the problem. That's why is it understand why it's failing. You got to understand why it's failing before you can actually act on it and improve. Was the hook on the ad not strong enough? Did I not have enough emotion? Did I use AI for the ad? Did I use a human voice for the ad? Okay, I used AI. Let's try using a human ad this time. Okay, we launched the ad as a human. It doesn't perform well still. Okay, is the music off? Maybe let's change the music. I launched the ad. If the ad doesn't perform good, okay, maybe the captions are wrong. Keep making those little changes until it becomes perfect.
The thing though is, you know, being in sales, I had so many people I speak with on a day-to-day basis, right? It's the competency, right? It's like, for example, the one that you just explained to me, great. But there are some people, right, that's like have a hard time when learning that. So for you specifically, right, was that trained habit? Did it come from your parents being able to like problem solve individually, or was it like a specific book that you read, or how are you able to like just self audit essentially?
Yeah, well, again, it comes back to what I said in the beginning. I didn't want to get a job, so I was determined to do whatever it took for me to not have to get a job and start my own business. So that's why I was so determined to just keep learning from my failures, because I did not want to do anything else but e-commerce.
So just straight up, no job, none.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't care what it takes. I'll stay up all night. I'll work on it. And I did. And that's why that's how I got here today. Don't care what it takes.
Yeah, because the thing is, a lot of people, right, would listen to this and say, "Oh, get inspired. I like what you hear," and they'd go into the next podcast again.
Yeah,
and there's no execution that happens, right? So
that's another big issue. They get motivated and then they just keep scrolling or something. They don't execute. There's no point. You're not going to ever make it if you don't execute. Speed will always beat perfection. It will always, and you will learn more through speed and execution than trying to perfect everything. All right. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. The brands that have done 7 figures for me to this day, 8 figures to me to this day, are not perfect. There's still things that I would love to change about them. Maybe the look, the color, the wording. It's never going to be 100% perfect. I would rather you just launch something, get it live and learn than trying to sit there for months trying to perfect it. It's not going to, you're going to get quicker, better results if you just execute and launch it.
Yeah, I would say I'm like a bit guilty on this too, right? Because like sometimes I'm like, I get so caught up, like, okay, cool, like we try this out, and you overthink sometimes, and like you try to perfect it, So what's the hierarchy of criteria for you? And like, okay, this is something I need to actually put my time and energy on, or yeah, how do you make that decision of like, I know there are some things that I could work on this, but yeah, like how do you choose the criteria of what to pay attention to?
Look, when it comes to my store, would I purchase, if I was a customer and I went onto my store, would I purchase from it? That's it. If I think I would purchase on it, then I think it's great. That's all it is. Put yourself in the customer's shoe, no matter what business you do. If you think that you would go through with this company or this brand, you'd buy from it, then it's good. That's it. That's really it. I mean, unless there's a massive issue with your site, like a massive issue, it's different. But like if it's just, you're never going to have the best wording, the best images, the best checkout flow, everything. Like it's never going to be perfect. And sometimes it's better that you're not perfect, Sometimes it's great not being perfect, because when you're selling something, it's more human. It's more, there's a famous, look, it's what I say when people launch ads. Is it better to launch a perfect high production ad or an ad shot on an iPhone that was shaky and a little bit blurry? Now, you would think the ad would perform better if it was a high production ad, but it wouldn't. The ad taken on the phone, shaky, would convert better because it's more believable and it shows more authenticity and connection to being humans. Does that make sense? It's like...
It's organic, it's raw. It's like you sent a friend a Snapchat.
It's real. It's more believable than someone that, spent $15,000 to make this ad to try to sell you something. You want an ad that doesn't feel like an ad. People don't want to be sold to. People hate watching ads. They've always hated watching ads. So the last thing you want to do is create an ad that looks like an ad. You want to create an ad that doesn't look like an ad, that looks like it was literally just taken on your phone. It was simple. It's got a strong hook. It targets emotion, and it talks about the product that you're selling. That's it. Don't make it come across as an ad. Don't do any selling in the ad. People hate that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And I'm curious, Anthony, like, are you doing everything yourself or do you have a team? Like, how does this operations run now? Because it's just a big...
So right? I've got a factory in Shenzhen, China, suppliers that manage all of my orders and shipment and fulfillment. But as far as marketing goes and building the stores and finding the products, I do it all myself. I don't believe in getting a big team. When I was younger, I used to always think to myself, the more employees you had, the more successful you were. I used to always believe that. It's the furthest thing from the truth. If you can do it yourself, do it yourself. Don't outsource it. Don't hire someone else to do it. The quality will drop and you're going to just spend money that you don't need to be spending.
It's interesting, right? Because it's like, when do you actually start delegating, right? To a certain point, if you want to keep scaling, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've got VAs, I've got virtual assistants that do emails and stuff. But the main core foundations of what I do is run by me. The ads, I choose the ads. I make the ads because I know what works. I don't trust someone else to do it for me. I know what works. I don't want to trust someone else doing it for me.
Yeah. Would you ever delegate that part when you're scaling businesses, or?
Yeah, I'll have to. I won't be able to manage it. Yeah. I'll have to. I have to teach them how to do it my way, and they're going to have to learn how I do it my way, and that's how I'll delegate it. Yeah. It's to a point where I need to. Yeah, I need to already. It's very, I won't go to bed till 2, 3 a.m. Right. I'll be up most of the night because I've just got so much work to do and stuff because I do it all myself.
It's interesting because it's one of those things. Sort of cut you off, by the way, but
that's right.
It's one thing that pops up in my head is it's very similar to, like you eventually become the bottleneck of your business.
Yes, right? It's true.
So
it's very true.
How do you actually now, because I know the common practice is like, hire someone and make them do, like they might do it 20, 30% less better than you, but at least it's getting delegated. But there are also teams that's being built that's way better, like, hey, this person is way better than me and doing this specific part of the business.
Yeah. I think to answer that question specifically, I think my age plays a massive factor in that. I'm 21. If I'm ever going to do what I'm doing by myself, it's going to be at 21 when I'm living with my parents, right? I don't have a family. I don't have kids to look after, right? I don't have anything to look after. I can do it. I've got the time. I make the time for it. I enjoy it. I just don't think, look, if I was 30, I was married, I had kids to look after, of course I'd have to delegate it to a team. But I have no responsibilities rather than just managing the business itself, really. That's it. So it's okay for me to do that. But yes, in the future, especially in the near future, I'm looking to hire assistants, a marketing team for my brands, and stuff like that. But as of right now, I enjoy doing it myself, and I just don't want to delegate it.
You have too much time right now to like, hey, like for me to delegate, I can just do everything myself.
Yeah, exactly right. I might go to bed 2, 3 a.m., but I enjoy it. I do enjoy it, so it's fine.
And it's interesting, right? Because a lot of people get into entrepreneurship thinking that, hey, like I'm quitting my 9 to 5 job, so like I work less hours. Next thing you're working 12, 14 hours.
No, it's minimum. Yeah, minimum. From the morning you wake up to the morning you go to bed. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. You are working 24/7. There's more work in this than if you worked for someone else's 9 to 5 job. No doubt about it. Completely, there's no comparison.
How do you keep yourself consistent, and because you've been doing this for 4 years, right? How does that look like? Show up. How do you show up every day, like keep the same?
Yeah. So the best thing is to have a routine. So what you're going to do, what you're going to do every single day. I'm going to check my emails at this time. I'm going to check my ads at this time. I'm going to do my mentorship calls between this time to this time. Break it down into blocks. As soon as I wake up, I go on notes on my phone, and I put down everything I need to do today. And as I do it, the other day I tick it off. And that's exactly how I stay on top of everything that I need to do. And I won't go to bed until that checklist has been completely ticked off.
Do you like plan 5 years ahead, or is more of like day-to-day action?
It's more day-to-day action. I don't think too far ahead. Tomorrow's not promised. I think about tomorrow, and that's it. That's as far as I'm going to think. I'm not worried about what's happening in a year's time, what's happening 5 months' time. Just want to worry about what's happening now.
Wow. Man, like you're giving a lot of very, very fresh perspective, especially in our age, right? Because a lot of people think differently as well. And for you, right? Because this is 4 years, and it's been there's people that has a run, you could say considered quote unquote prime, but for you, like, was there like something in your back of your head, like slow down, or it's more of like, because it's
It's go. It's go. I'm a rocket. I just want to keep going. There's no slow down. It's just keep going, especially
Where's
at
that
this age.
coming from, right? Like,
I don't know. I love business. I love it. It's just something that I enjoy. I could be making no money from this and I would still enjoy it.
mm,
That's the truth, because I genuinely like what I do. It's so important. I just, you keep chasing more and bigger goals, and it just keeps you on track, and it just keeps you wanting to get bigger and bigger and keep growing. Life's too short
yeah,
to just sit around and just not chase what you want, right? So just keep going for it.
yeah. That statement reminded me of there's this podcast episode I listened to from Founders.
Yep.
He's talking about Jiro Ono. I'm not sure if you heard of him. It's a
Right.
Japanese sushi master.
Yep.
And the thing is, this guy has done one thing for decades, like 70,
Yeah.
80 plus years, right? And
Yeah.
the biggest thing that he's mentioned as well is, he would do, it's like the obsession part, right? It's
Yep.
borderline. He so passionate about what he does that to the extent that when he would go home to his kids, it's like, oh, there's a random person sleeping at our couch, for to his kids, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, but like that's kind of like the extent that you need to also think in a sense to become successful in this field, right? And not a lot of people has it. And
No.
for you, right? Like, do you feel like that was a nurtured thing, or was it more of like was born into you, or how do you
I
feel?
think it was, yeah, I think it was born into me. I think, yeah, it was nurtured into me through my dad and my mum, but I think I was just born with it. Like I was thinking of business and ideas from like when I was 5, 6 years old. Like I swear to God, I've always been interested in it. I've always, stuck with it. It's just always been a passion of mine. But I agree with what you were saying about that guy. You got to be obsessed with what you do if you want to make it that big, right? You got to be obsessed, and you got to be disciplined, and you got to be consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency is the key to success.
Mm-hmm. Do you have
It
any
is.
books that you read right now, or are you like a big book reader, or what does that look like?
Yeah. Yeah. So one of my favorite books is 48 Laws of Power by Robert
Okay.
Greene. It's a great book. Highly
Yeah.
recommended to everyone listening. It helps with psychology. It even helps with marketing. It's a great book. Great book. There's a few other books that I like. The Richest Man in Babylon, another fantastic book. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is a great
Okay.
book as well. Atomic Habits. Um, yeah, they're the main books that I recommend. They're great books.
Hmm. Man, I don't want to keep you too long, but one last question for you is
Yep.
obviously this is you're 21. There's so much more years ahead of you, right? And I guess the biggest thing is typically people would ask at the end of the podcast is, hey, like, what would you want to leave, right? But for you specifically, Anthony, right? Like, how would you want people to perceive you? Like, let's say in 10 years time now, right? What type of dent do you want to leave in this world? Like, how would you want to be remembered in a sense?
It's a great question. I want to be remembered as someone that helped people out, um, someone that was willing to give their time up to help others.
Mm.
And yeah, like I want to be known as the biggest Australian ecom guy creator in Australia. That's one of my biggest goals.
Mm.
And yeah, that's what I'm very committed to doing. And I know I'll get there because I manifest stuff and I believe in myself. And you got to believe in yourself. And yeah, just helping people, and getting people onto the right path and helping people achieve their dreams, just like I wanted to. Yeah.
Love it, man. And it sounds like to me, do you have is your mentorship program open, or can they
Yeah,
reach
yeah,
out
yeah.
to you?
So
Or
yeah, so you just DM me on my Instagram account. My Instagram is Perry Ecom, and you can just DM me saying that you're interested. Hop on a call, and we can talk about where you're at, and we go from there.
okay, I got you, man. And where can they find you? So Instagram is where they can reach you the most.
Instagram is the number one place. Perry Ecom on Instagram. You can follow me, send me a message, and I'll respond pretty quickly to you. Yeah.
I love it, man. And any last remarks before we end the episode?
Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you.
For sure. And likewise, man. And again, gents, ladies and gents, this is a wrap from Anthony Perry's episode. And as always, be a creator, not a consumer. Create something today that will inspire you and others. See you in the next one.